So, yokoso, yokoso. So, fingers and thumbs then. Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Welcome, one and all, to another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Stadia Monday Night Chat with me, your host, of course, Clive Illenden. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, one and all. Welcome, one and all. Yeah, welcome. Well, lovely to see everyone. Big welcome to all the new viewers, of course, as there does seem to have been quite a few new viewers last week, over the last couple of episodes. Just to say that it's absolutely brilliant to see. Last week's Stadia Monday Night Chat was the most watched episode to date for some reason, by some margin. Could have been the news from last Monday, probably. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I mean, that's all I want. I want people to catch this awesome, all-informing, educating and entertaining Stadia content. Special shout out as well. Special shout out to Sunny Cloud Gaming as well for the continued support. It's always shouting at me. It's always giving me shout outs and encouragement. So if you've watched any of my content because of his shout outs, well, thank you for being here. And hello to you, sirs and madams. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to all the new members as well this week as well, and the continued support from my lovely memberships. New members content coming very, very soon, my lovely members. Okay, chat. Quick hello as well to all those in the chat watching right here, right now. Let's go through them now very, very quickly so we don't forget them. Liam, hi. Lord Vivek. Jerome, lovely to see you. Dave, Sednar, Naki Niki Noo, Naki Noo, Castle Runner, and your mama knows. Anthony, lovely to see you. Caseball UK, Randy B, and everybody. And yes, very interesting. And now your mama knows here because I was in his dreams last night. Okay, moving on quickly. Remember, any questions or issues that you want me kind of tackle today, put them in the chat. Put them in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Very quick one there from Caseball. Ooh, controversial. Could be true. We'll see. Anyway, I do try and keep on top of the chat. So you can always use the super chats, of course, to get your questions highlighted. And I'll remember those because, you know, I'm producing and presenting the show all at the same time. So it's like multitasking. So sometimes I miss the chat. But anyway, we have another packed show for you today. Of course we do. We've had a few of those recently. Why is that? Well, because over the last week, thank you for the subscription there, M324 Wolf. Very much appreciated, sir. Very much appreciated. Because over the last few weeks, there's been lots to talk about Stadia-wise. We just kind of forget about that. Some people in the Stadia community seem to forget this. Or is it they just sort of taking all this news for granted now? You do know, ladies and gentlemen, you do know that there's Stadia news every single week. Yeah, sometimes twice a week. Some news is bigger than others. But every week, usually twice weekly, there's something to be said for getting stuff twice weekly. Wink, wink. Keep it clean at the back, please. Anyway, you know what I mean. God, shocking. Who doesn't get it twice weekly? Stadia news, that is. So here's a little bit of advice, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I like to impart some advice to you now and then. This is for free. You can take this to the bank, ladies and gentlemen. Take it to the bank. Appreciate the things that you do get rather than focusing on the things you don't. And life will be so much better for it. There's something I see a lot on Twitter and in the Stadia community, but all communities anyway. And it's a sort of short-term memory syndrome. Games that have been announced over the last few months. Games that we know are still to come. All the games and DLC content mentioned at E3. When you see that, like in the whole, in the round, you look at it in the round, there's a lot of stuff and a lot going on. So, like, focus on that rather than, don't focus on what you didn't get. Focus on what you did and don't forget all the stuff that's already promised. Do that. And 1, you'll really enjoy this show. And 2, your life will be better for it, ladies and gentlemen. Your life will be better for it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to check the chat there. Yeah, all good, all good. So this show is going to recap on all the things from just before E3 that some people, as I said, seem to have forgotten about already, as though it never happened. There was some major news just before E3 and all the updates from E3, including continued support from publishers and developers into 2022. Yes, plural. So sit back, settle in. But before all that, of course, let me know what games you've been playing. Put it in the chat. Let everyone know, of course. For me, Immortals Phoenix, been playing a bit more of that, and Chronos Before the Ashes. Lord Kensal played it on his stream last week and was stuck because the screen didn't tell him what button to push. So, normally, like there's, press Y to pull out, whatever, do this to pull out. And what you had to do is combine two things, but it didn't say press X. So I was like pressing every single button but X, trying to work out how to combine these two objects. And that was 10 minutes of wasted time on the stream. As soon as the stream finished, I went back to it, just pressed X randomly, and it went, yeah, we can put those two things together. I knew I had to put these things together, or Lord Kensal did, but just couldn't work out how to do it because it didn't come up and say, press X to do this thing. Anyway, rant over, ladies and gentlemen, rant over. Anyway, could be very frustrating. Just FYI, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not subscribed to Lord Kensal of Stadia, then it is well worth subscribing to him now, as I believe he's going to kick off his first ever look at Red Dead Redemption 2. Yeah, he's never played Red Dead Redemption 2. And if you know what he sort of studied at university and what his first company, my first company set up, I said, acquiring the rights. The first company I set up after university was acquiring the rights to spaghetti westerns. I researched that subject so much. Anyway, so if you want to see a complete greenhorn playing Red Dead Redemption 2, then 9 p.m. UK time tomorrow night over on the Lord Kensal of Stadia channel. Make sure you sub now, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that's the plan. Yeah, cowboy. Yep. I'd like to more sort of Gentleman Bob. Although he did get a Gentleman Bob, didn't he get a beating in The Unforgiven? He got a savage beating by the sheriff. Hey, my cry 009. Thank you, sir, for that sub. Thank you. Right, that's enough jibber jabber, ladies and gentlemen. Enough jibber jabber. To the newsmobile. Deep breath. There's a lot to dive into here. Right. Hot on the heels of the announcement of Stadia rolling out to Chromecast for Google TV and Android TV in general on the 23rd of June. Please, ladies and gentlemen, bear in mind that is a date, 23rd of June, in which this smart app, TV smart app, will be made available. Yeah, it's a date, an actual date in less than 2 weeks is massive. Yeah, it's interesting that Xbox, of course, came out, said they'd be looking to put an xCloud app on smart TVs. Yeah, of course they would. I mean, it's an amazing idea, and I can't wait for that to happen. So that in the same way you have, Netflix, Amazon, Disney Plus, and you just flick between the two to find the content you want to play. and the quality's as good on all those apps. I can't wait for that moment. So it's interesting that in the week that Stadia actually announced a date, ladies and gentlemen, an actual date, this is going to be a reoccurring theme. The fact that Stadia mentioned a date for their app, their TV app. Anyway, it's interesting that Xbox decided to mention that they were thinking about it as well. Oh yeah, we've got a smart TV app coming. Can't wait for it. But there's a lot of vagary around it. Interesting. No actual date. Anyway, the point is, not to disparage Xbox because it's brilliant. I can't wait for them to do it. It's exciting times in the cloud gaming space. But anyway, this show is about Stadia, so back to that. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, hot on the heels of last week's news, Stadia being in more places to access, etc., was a marketing. Here we are. A big marketing push with AT&T. Now, it's funny, I was watching one of the E3s today, and there was a presentation by Verizon about how their new 5G ultra-wideband 5G, and how they're all in on gaming, helping developers. They talked about cloud. They talked about esports teams and everything. So it's just interesting that some of the phone companies and the data companies here are recognizing that it is a really important part of your overall entertainment package. Yeah. Games as entertainment. Don't see them as separated TV, film, games. It's all entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, get 6 months of Stadia Pro with AT&T here. Qualifying AT&T fiber plan or get a 5G smartphone. So they had a similar deal with BT a long, long time ago, but I think it's a much more relevant package now. You'll see in the ad, it's got, the TVs, the laptops, the phones and everything. So, and I've talked about the amount of content there is. So, already, 108 odd games, 180 games or whatever. So it's a good time for people to discover Stadia, basically. Anyway, so I just think it's very interesting. But they also mentioned how in the press release that they'll actually be working to optimize the 5G and the streaming for gaming. So now I don't know what that potentially means, whether that's, they discount that data package from, your overall data plan. So for instance, in the UK, I'm with 3, mobile user 3, and they give you unlimited Netflix, which sits outside your data plan on your 5G phone. So a few companies do that, because Netflix obviously done a deal with them and said, tell you what, don't include Netflix in that person's data. And it's a good marketing thing. So it could be something like that. Could you see something like that? We don't know. But it's just interesting. It's good to see that hot on the heels of Stadia announcing the rollout of their sort of Google TV app for Stadia. They're going full on with this big promotion with AT&T in the US. So that's really good. And a little side note here, Stadia iOS has left the experimental stage. So it's official now. And includes a brand new feature adding mobile optimized resolution adjustments. So now you can adjust make the resolution adjustments for iPhone as well, which is a pretty cool thing as well. So all good. Hello there, Michael Richardson. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Michael's one of our new members. Very much appreciated, sir. And then they went on about how the new Far Cry 6, which I'll come to later anyway, you can order. And then they're continuing with the bonkers indie sale. And I have more on the indie games as well coming up very, very soon. Anyway, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That was just on Tuesday. Yeah, that was just on Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. We haven't even got to E3 yet. That was Tuesday. But no, people have forgotten all this activity. It's almost like they're goldfish sometimes, some people in the community. They can only remember what was announced that day and they can't put it into the context of what's been announced in the last, several months. Anyway, let's not get too ranty, Clive. Let's not get too ranty, especially with the community. We love them dearly. New game announcement. Moonlighter. Here. Now, it's funny, again, before the show, I was watching the Nerdist, who are presenting today's E3, or sponsoring today's E3, and they were talking about a load of indie games, and how wonderful indie games are, because you discover all these wonderful kind of interesting games that you wouldn't necessarily discover, but with indie games you do. And one of the games they were both talking about, this was about an hour ago, I'd say, one of the games they were talking about was Moonlighter. They were absolutely raving about Moonlighter, not from a Stadia point of view, but from, I think it must be on Steam or whatever. And they were saying what a wonderful game it is. So it's a kind of, we'll just play a little bit. Let me know if it's too loud.
Every hero has a goal.
Take that down there. So during an archaeological excavation long ago, a set of gates were discovered. People quickly realized these ancient passages led to different realms and dimensions, providing brave and reckless adventures with treasures beyond measure. Treasures beyond measure. Renoka, a small commercial village, was founded. So this is like a shopkeeping and fighting game. Very weird combination. But as I understand it, the Steam version is, as I say, the two guys on Nerdist were absolutely raving about this on the live E3 show. So that's very interesting. Just look here, full list of the 180 games. I was right. Sometimes I get confused. Is it 180 coming, 180 date? Here we are. Look, 180 games on the store already. That's a hell of a lot of games to be doing with, yeah? Anyway, let me know what you think about this game. It's got a real kind of interesting, relaxing, chill feel to it, to me. But a lot of people are waving. So again, it's one of these curated indie games that, are rated really well. And it's great to see these curated indie games on Stadia. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. Right. So anyway, that is Moonlight. So we had a massive marketing. So following the rollout or announcement of the rollout of the Stadia app, we had a massive marketing campaign announced. We had a new indie game announced. Now, interesting as well this week, Epic Games, ladies and gentlemen. Epic Games are looking for someone with Stadia experience. Ooh. No. Just hold your horses. I know how people get really excited about this. I mention it, but I just want to put it in context so people understand maybe what it is they're trying to do, maybe what they're trying to achieve. So here is the ad, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call it up. An eternity later. Here we are. Senior platform programmer, consoles. And down here, you'll see what we're looking for. Experience with OS level systems on Xbox One, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Switch, and Stadia, ladies and gentlemen. Switch and Stadia. Ooh. But all right, so that's good. That's interesting. But hold your horses. Look, stop. No, calm down. What? Simmer down, class. Simmer down. Now wait. Before you all get all excited or headliney or rush off and make headlines, journalists and all that kind of stuff, it's probably not what you think it is. Right? No, Fortnite is not coming anytime soon. Okay? I just mentioned this because a few people got overly excited by this. But I just want to provide some context. So this is a genuine job interview. It is very encouraging, and I shall explain why. So, as early as 2019, Epic made a commitment that their Unreal Engine would support Stadia. Okay. Let's go to the blog post about that. So this was way back in March, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see here. So this is in March at GDC when Stadia was announced. Today at the Google GDC keynote, Epic Games announced Unreal Engine support for Stadia. And then later down it says here, Epic will continue to support Stadia in future versions of Unreal Engine, staying in lockstep with updates as they become available, ladies and gentlemen, as they become available. Okay? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Nearly choked then. Oh, but Pepsi went down the wrong way. Anyway, so Epic will continue to support Stadia in future versions of Unreal Engine, staying in lockstep with updates as they become available. So this is really about, they're looking for somebody, the job, they're looking for somebody to work on the Unreal Engine to continue support for Stadia. And I think that job, as I say, is just a continuation of that. So not epic, to use a pun, not epic in its scale, that little discovery about a job for Epic, you know, supporting Stadia. It's not about Fortnite or anything like that. But what it does show, however, is that their promise of ongoing support for Stadia by one of the biggest game development engines around is very, very encouraging. And that demonstrates that they continue to support it. Anyway, I just wanted to clear that up, wanted to mention it, wanted to provide some context. I know what people are like. I tweeted it initially and some people were going, oh, Fortnite, Fortnite. No. All right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, to E3. Yeah, let's get to E3 and all the big announcements, ladies and gentlemen, all the big announcements. E3. And of course, the major thing really, and we knew would be the case, is the support from Ubisoft, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, we weren't disappointed. We were not disappointed. Let's have a look here. So, ladies and gentlemen, what did Ubisoft present? Well, you've got continued support of, where is it? Not there. The Crew 2. We got Watch Dogs Bloodline. We got an announcement of Riders Republic. Put that there. Which looks amazing. It looks... I always love a snowboarding game. But here we go. And you can register for Riders Republic as well. And you can register for the beta for Stadia. If you've not already done that, you can register for the upcoming beta. And it gives you the option to select which console or platform you want to try the beta for. And Stadia is one of those. So I did that. And it does look really cool game. Mass races, the tricks battle, the versus mode, free for all, multiplayer competitions. Riders Republic launching on September the 2nd. So bear in mind that month is going to be a busy month, especially from Ubisoft, but not just Ubisoft, other publishers as well on Stadia. PS5, PlayStation 4, blah, 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 Stadia and Amazon Luna. And of course is included as part of Ubisoft Plus, ladies and gentlemen, included Ubisoft Plus. Talking about betas, ladies and gentlemen, just as an aside that you can sign up to, I think we've had confirmation that the spin-off, Heartland, the spin-off of Division 2, Heartlands, is definitely coming for Stadia. I'd be surprised if it, to be honest, I'd be super surprised if it didn't. But you can sign up. Where is it? Here, I'll just click on this one here. Okay. There we go. Look. Sign up for a chance to play test Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland early, ladies and gentlemen. And what's down here? Select your preferred platform. And I've already registered. It should, but I'm not logged into my Ubisoft, so it says to me registered. So there we are. That's probably indirect confirmation that Heartland, the free-to-play spin-off of Division 2, is definitely coming to Stadia. I didn't think it wasn't coming to Stadia, but it's good to see that A, you can partake in the beta, and B, the Stadia logo is there for it and all of that. Just thought I'd mention that anyway. So much stuff here from Ubisoft. Let's go back to Ubisoft. Let's close that. So we had, of course, as I said, we had Riders Republic. Let's go all through this. You had the Watch Dogs Legion Bloodline trailer reveals. So there's a zombie type thing set in London. Gonna love it. This looks really cool, actually. This DLC does look really cool. So I'm looking forward to this DLC, so continued support. These DLCs just keep the games alive, and I think this is very much what Ubisoft are all about, because you'll see also, of course, with Valhalla, there's some great DLC coming, and of course be available on Stadia. Just keeps the game fresh, keeps it going, keeps it interesting. All good. What else, of course? Along with that, don't want the Unreal Engine bit. We want the Ubisoft. One of the DLCs for Far Cry 6, the Season Pass, is you can become a villain. Notice the Stadia logo there. You can become one of the past Far Cry villains and play as a villain. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but you can play the game as one of the Far Cry villains as part of the Season Pass for Far Cry 6. Again, more great content, especially if you're big into the Far Cry franchises and stuff like that. All good. All good. Whew, right, Ubisoft, go back to where were we? I'm just whizzing through the Ubisoft here. Obviously, we had more info on where's it gone? Once I've lost the what's it? We had more anyway. We had more info on Rainbow Six Siege coming to Stadia on the 30th, and Rainbow Six Extraction, a new game, completely new game, also coming to Stadia. These look absolutely immense. These games, well, Rainbow Six Extraction does. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be really cool. Let me just go back to this for Ubisoft. Excuse me. Go back to the Ubisoft event. No, I don't want the recap. I had all these lined up. There we are. It's because it's right. Here we are. We're back. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. Right. So, Riders Republic, we've done that one. Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege with cross-play and cross-progression. And I know this has sort of got a lot of people sort of narked and nerked or whatever, but I'll take cross-play in any form. Yeah. And, you know, I'm not a great thing. So what if people on keyboard and mouse? Yeah. Maybe I'm really good on controller. Yeah. He's not. Shut up. Right. Maybe I'm really good on controller against PC players. Maybe the PC player on keyboard and mouse is really rubbish. Yeah. Doesn't really bother me. What bothers me is that there is multiplayer makes sense, and there are a lot of, you know, people to play with. So this is great to see. Cross-play and cross-progression available on PC, Stadia and Luna. And then earlier in 22, Xbox and PlayStation can play together as well, and cross progression available between all platforms. So it doesn't look like there's cross play entirely between PC, Stadia, and Luna and the consoles. Although I did see the developer talking that they'd be looking at it and maybe considering it in the future. But at the moment, that's the rollout. So it may come way, in later in 2022. I don't know. But for now, they're being kept separate. But again, great to see as well. And there's a new character in there as well. Those that are familiar with it, called Thunder here. Rainbow Six Siege available on PS5, Xbox, blah, 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 PC, Stadia, and Amazon Luna, and included as part of the Ubisoft subscription. So I'm really happy because I just want a bit of PvP action now and then. So, yeah, you can. You can play. You can play on keyboard and mouse and Stadia. Yeah, of course you can. And I know there are, many Stadia friends who play keyboard and mouse. Not for me. What I'm just saying is, majority of people probably play with a controller. Fine. I'm fine with that. I'll play with a controller and take my chances. I'll give it a go. I'm happy with that. But yes, of course you can play keyboard and mouse. That's absolutely fine, Dave. Sorry for any confusion. Right, next one up. Oh no, have I missed... did I miss Just Dance? Probably. Rainbow Six Extraction, which looks really cool. Again, this probably will work a lot better for those people who are worried about, that really highly competitive Rainbow Six Siege games in the PvP kind of stuff. This looks like it's sort of more a fun team-based game that, people can get into. So again, I think if you're not into that competitive PvP, then this could be a real option. And again, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be interesting. It's a different... Also, in terms of the game engine, like anything with these things, it depends how well it's ported. And I noticed it does not use the Snowdrop engine like Division 2. I think Rainbow Six Siege is based on the Anvil engine. So it'll be interesting to see what the port is like. Hot off the press, ladies and gentlemen. Hot off the press. Andy was at the Capcom thing in E3, which is going on right now. Don't go there. Don't go there. Watch it in the corner. Don't leave me. So I was hoping there. So that's good. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Capcom supporting Stadia. They did say the reverse was coming anyway. Have they given it a date? Have they given it a date? I know that the Capcom E3 announcement's going on now. Let's have a quick look. We're going to interrupt the show to see what's happening on Twitter to see if anybody's following up on it. And then my comments. Reverse. Yeah, he said next month. So this is straight from here. Hell Monkey here is saying reverse coming next month, I think. And Keith Aurora is saying, yeah, he said next month. Because that's how he talks, yeah. Yeah, he said next month. He doesn't talk like that. I'm joking. Sorry, Keith. But there we go. Anyone else on that? Just having a quick look. Okay, so there we are. Capcom coming along. Gandaris, I'm pretty sure Stadia game uses the Anvil engine. Yeah, I think there is a game that uses the Anvil engine. I think you're right, but I just can't think which one it is, to be honest. So that's the thing. I couldn't quite remember. So anyway, so there we are, hot off the press. Another publisher continuing to support E3, and you can go, yeah, but we knew it was coming. That's not the point. Yeah. And he confirms they said next month. So that's all good. Right. For the people that are moaning, Just Dance. Just Dance 22, ladies and gentlemen. Just Dance 22. Really, you can... I forgot what the word... Anyway, yes, here we are. The big one has a collaboration with singer, dancer, actor, and choreographer Todrick Hall. I only do that because... is he in... What's the show called? Oh, I should know what it is. It's one of the main shows in... I talk about it every day at work because it's one of our main shows. Drag Queen UK. Doesn't he do choreography for that? I don't know. Anyway. Just Dance 22, ladies and gentlemen. Just make sure the desktop is turned off. Music. Popular title. What? A sequel of a title that's already on there coming back. Anyway, that is for all the people that were... there we are. Here he is. There he is. Look, you see. Hello, Todrick Hall. There we go. We'll leave Todrick Hall there in the background while I witter on. Anyway, in fact, no, we won't because we're going to find the next thing. Sorry, goodbye, Todrick. Fare thee well. Right. Rainbow Six Extraction, we've done that. And of course, this, the big one, ladies and gentlemen, really, the one to get super excited for. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. What a lovely looking game. I mean, it's all CGI at the moment. It's early days. It says it's powered by Snowdrop. So that's interesting. Avatar is powered by the Snowdrop engine. It looks amazing. And of course, the Snowdrop engine is what, as I mentioned earlier, is what they use for Division 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Division 2. So should be touch what? Touch wood. What are you talking about, Clive? Touch wood. There we are. Snowdrop. Touch wood. It would be a really good port. But of course, the big news and the one that everybody sort of seems super excited about is this is not scheduled until 2022. So this is the sort of the first real game. It's not quite the first game because I think that Sky Pandora or oh my God, my brain's gone dead. The game that was crowdfunded, I think is coming in 2022. But anyway, so potentially 2 games coming in 22. There's a third one as well, potentially. But it looks amazing. It's very exciting. And it shows continued support by Ubisoft beyond 2021, 2022. And you've got to think about the logic of it. Are you really telling me that there'll be no games in 2022 on Stadia except for this one? That completely defies any logic. So, run with that for a while, ladies and gentlemen. Run with that. It does look really good. Anvil is Assassin's Creed. So this is the thing I'm slightly worried about because I know there are a lot of sort of performance Nazis out there who are absolutely obsessed with the... Hey, look, in fairness, we want it the best version of the game. But, some people moan that the Assassin's Creed games are at 30 frames per second on Stadia and stuff like that. I hope that's not an engine issue. I hope that Anvil can, deliver the experience of 60 frames per second, which is something you're going to want on a game like Rainbow Extraction and certainly on Rainbow Six Siege. So we'll see. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you for that, Kumnar. Thank you for that, letting us know on that one as well. And of course, there's tons of DLC were announced as well. So you've got the Siege of Paris coming to Valhalla as well. So again, it's just amazing to see Ubisoft continuing to support Stadia in the way that they do. And as I say, confirmation that Heartlands will probably, as good as, Immortals. Immortals is 60 frames per second. Okay. Immortals. And Immortals looks great, to be honest. So that's encouraging. So fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed. It has the toggle, the performance mode, and the other mode. Well, that's good then. Thank you again for that, Kumar. So that's encouraging. I feel encouraged by that. It doesn't make sense delivering a Rainbow Six Siege game not at 60 frames per second. Now, the interesting thing is, from Ubisoft as well, is we've been told that For Honor was coming to Stadia as well. But there's been no mention of it yet. So just to take you back, have I got the thing here? Okay, no, I don't. Okay, so For Honor was mentioned in the Ubisoft investors call a few months ago, a few weeks ago now, as coming to Stadia. So, of course, we've got that to look forward to. I can't believe it's a massive mistake on their part. I can't believe they wouldn't necessarily bring it because they're bringing all these other Ubisoft games. So, yeah, question mark. For Honor still to be announced. And I'm sure they said by the end of June. So it just seems weird they didn't mention it. Maybe they just didn't think it was worthy to say in E3 to say, oh, and by the way, this game that's on everything else is just so happened to come into Stadia. So I don't think it got, to be honest, if you're really frank about it, just announcing something just for Stadia that's already out, it's not really worthy of space on E3, to be honest. So maybe it's still to be announced. Will be interesting to say. Ash Kanduka says, Ubisoft it is indeed, sir, and it is great. I didn't think I'd appreciate it as much as I do, but when you consider, right, all the games that they've announced, and all, like, they're usually the sort of the gold edition, the sort of slightly more deluxe edition is what's available for Ubisoft Plus. You think the value? I mean, that Rainbow Siege games, extraction games, is like 60 quid for the basic game. Far Cry 6 will be 60 quid for the basic game. So for $12.99 over a year, it's still pretty good value. If you play just 3 games, 3 brand new games, you've got the value out of it. That's just 3 brand new games. And you're getting the slightly more deluxe versions of the games as well. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As I say, yeah, Jem agrees with me there. I just don't think, yeah, I agree with you, picture. But anyway, oh, did we lose? Did we lose me there? Are we still going? Oh, we had a disconnect there. Sorry about that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not playing now. There we are. Right, sorry about that. We had a disconnect. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so there we are. Continued support by Ubisoft. It's great to see. It's making the Ubisoft Plus, really valuable. It's great to see. It's all built on that Ubisoft Stadia relationship that started over 2 years ago, if not 3 years ago. Ubisoft knowing that cloud gaming is the key, especially for Ubisoft Plus. Hence its active support of both Luna and Stadia. When you think about all those Ubisoft games, as I say, some of which cost a pretty penny, Ubisoft Plus looks pretty good value, I think. And I think it looks like a really good role model for other channels. Now, you need to port the games to Stadia, yeah. And that's something that Ubisoft had been working with Stadia very closely with for over 2 years. Let's not forget, remember Project Cloud, the predecessor to Stadia, the sort of the beta version of Stadia, used Assassin's Creed Odyssey as its sort of test game, as its proof of concept. That's why Ubisoft are able to support Stadia to the degree that they do. Now, other publishers may come on board, but we may, as channels, but we may not see that for a couple of years, as Ubisoft was so far ahead in terms of the relationship with Stadia. But I can seriously see it coming in the future. So, yeah, I can see EA or even Take-Two or something doing channels. They'll see it's a great place to do it. You see it on Xbox, you see it on xCloud and stuff like that. Obviously, Amazon and Luna will be pushing to do that. I can see it's a popular model. So there we go. Right, before we head over, ladies and gentlemen, before we head over to Square Enix, Get Packed. A quick note on Get Packed, ladies and gentlemen. So Get Packed is coming here to see that there? Stadia. Well, we know it's on Stadia already. Xbox One, Steam, and PlayStation 4. Okay? Bear in mind that Xbox One and PlayStation 4 are the most common consoles, not Xbox One Series X or PlayStation 5, because nobody can get them. But there are, nearly 150 to 200 million of those two consoles between them out there already. And Get Packed, fully loaded, is coming with loads of additional content. So they're getting a slightly bigger game than we did on Stadia initially, but Stadia is getting all that content free of charge. So good to see. Good to see. So I just thought I'd mention that. So massive. It's almost like a new game. I think I saw one of the developers describe it as. So they've really put loads more content into Get Packed, and Stadia will get the benefit of that. So look out for that. Right, Square Enix, ladies and gentlemen, Square Enix. I can see some things in there. And I'll come to this, Andy. Yep. Square disappointed me a bit. I expected their new IPs on Stadia. Yeah, and I tend to agree with you slightly. As I say, more encouraging. Let's stick with the encouraging news. We got a glimpse of the DLC coming to Marvel Avengers. So they've got loads of DLC. Shout out to Anthony and no, your mama knows there, because I know he loves Marvel Avengers, but they've got loads and loads of DLC planned for Marvel Avengers. So that's really good. It's good to see the game that's on Stadia with all this continued support. So, DLC is like a part game, So it's encouraging that they continue to support it in that way. Of course, Life is Strange, which we already knew. And you could say, well, we already knew it was coming, Clive. Yeah, we already knew it was coming. But the exciting thing here is, and we know this was coming, Life is Strange, the first one, and Life is Strange Before the Storm remastered editions, both coming to Stadia in September and part of Pro. So that's encouraging. Yeah. Stadia still doing the deals with Square Enix for Pro games. So if you've never played Life is Strange, in September, you'll be able to play chapters 1 and 2, as it were, in what is a lovely game, a really good game. It's sort of quite slow paced, whatever, but and it's quite an emotional game. But it's really good if you're into that sort of thing. And Pro. So these are remastered versions, so they're coming to other platforms as well, but Stadia is getting it Pro. So don't be too gloomy and doomy about Square Enix, okay? But the elephant in the room, as far as Square Enix is concerned, of course, is Guardians of the Galaxy. And here I'm with you, Andy, to be honest. It's a bit disappointing that there was no Stadia mention of Guardians of the Galaxy, because the Guardians of the Galaxy game looked really cool. I think it probably interests me more than the Marvel Avengers game. I know they are Marvel Avengers, but the separate Marvel Avengers game. Sorry, Anthony. But the Guardians of the Galaxy looked like it'd be a real fun game to play, and I really like the look of it. And I was thinking, oh, this would be awesome if it gets a Stadia logo on it, but it didn't. So I'm disappointed with that. I must admit, in terms of expectation, I probably did expect it. And so therefore, reasonably so, I would say, because we have Marvel Avengers. So why wouldn't we get Guardians of the Galaxy? So we'll have to wait and see. I think most sensible people obviously are of the same mind. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. So we'll see. Maybe it will be announced later. As I say, I'm going to just say wait and see on that. Don't write it off yet. But anyway, more encouraging really is the fact that we have a glimpse of the DLC coming to Marvel Avengers. So as I say, continued support on that game. Life is Strange, day and date. The new game, True Colors, coming. The sequels coming as Pro. This is all good stuff. Okay, I'd say it's pretty good stuff from Square Enix. Just marred perhaps by no announcement for Guardians of the Galaxy. So, there we go. I think everybody's of the same mind, really. And if you're not, then get with it. Hive mind. Yeah. So I'm reserving judgment on that. We'll wait and see. Yeah. There may be some reasons behind it, maybe contractual reasons. You're dealing with a license. Things are complicated when you've got a license. It's not just Square Enix IP you're dealing with, i.e. the game. You're also dealing with the Marvel license. And that can complicate the business affairs side of things. That's what I do. The legal stuff, yeah? Trust me, can make it very complicated. Very complicated. But generally, apart from that, good support, continued support from Square Enix. So, as I say, I saw a tweet or read it probably from some moaners going, there's no new games mentioned coming to Stadia. No new games. Well, true. No new games we didn't know about. But Life is Strange True Colors is a new game that they talked about in the same way that Far Cry 6 we knew was coming. But they talked about, Ubisoft talked about it. Well, Square Enix talked about Life is Strange, True Colors, whatever, and we knew it was coming. But it featured at E3 as a new game. Plus factor in the fact that the prequels are pro games, then the Square Enix support is there. As I say, albeit not with Guardians of the Galaxy, but still, as I say, let's wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. Let's wait and see. Now, other news from E3 as well, interestingly enough, and we may not know now. I think they're going to announce it in I think in an hour. We don't know. But there was this game, ladies and gentlemen, was announced. Instinction. Okay? Fighting dinosaurs, basically. So sort of Jurassic Park meets Aliens type thing. All a bit quiet here. But yeah. An FPS shooter. I think it's first person. We'll see. Anyway. In a world of velociraptors and dinosaurs. What's not to like? Instinction. Yeah? Now, it wasn't actually announced for Stadia. Okay? It looks great. Dinosaurs. It wasn't actually announced for Stadia at E3. But I got it on Stadia. It looks really good. I don't know how much of this gameplay is actually in-game engine. Oh, this is it. This one. Okay, so it's third-person shooter, shooting dinosaurs and whatnot. Okay, and velociraptors. How cool is that? Anyway, the interesting thing was, he says, let's get that off. We came to protect them. You're missing all this. And we probably killed them all. And it looks really cool. There's something about dinosaurs, isn't there? Anyway, over... let's go to a tweet from Hashbane. Hashbane, the developer here. This. So, last night, after that was shown on here, Instinction game, the developer tweeted this in reply to France Stadia France, and at Paul Connor there, French, another French fellow, Stadia fan, French Stadia Français. Sorry for the terrible accent. They replied, here, additional announcements, including Stadia news, on our website 24 hours after the show. Dun, dun, dun. After the show, ladies and gentlemen. Even Four Scars Gaming was like, what? Say what? Yeah. After the show. So if we go to their site, Mobile just went past the house. Thank you very much. Let's close that up. If we go to their site now, yeah, 1 a.m. says 24 on the 24. So this was on Sunday, last night, whatever. But the news update is probably due 1 a.m. UK time. Oh no, 12 a.m. So midnight. So we might, ladies and gentlemen, get another game from E3. It looks really cool. I hope it looks as good as that. And I don't think this is launching until 2022. So potentially another game, if that's right, another game coming in 2022. Yeah, I can't see any mention of what engine, but we know that Stadia is supported by multiple engines. So, you know, it's all good. It's all gravy. It's all gravy, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, so hopefully, fingers crossed, why tweet there'll be Stadia news if there isn't Stadia news? Unless he's just trolling all the Stadia players. I think this was mentioned. Somebody did when it was first mentioned. They were making the game, or they tweeted out a few weeks ago. I think somebody in the Stadia community did tweet them and say, bring it to Stadia. And they said if there was enough interest. But I get a sense that it's moved on a bit since then, because why tweet that out? Don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, fingers crossed. Maybe because it wasn't in time. Maybe, you know. Who knows? Hey, Arlene Buville. I hope I've said that right. Boville. Arlene. No, that's maybe. No, anyway, never mind. Thank you for the subscription. Don't ruin it, Clive. Thank you there. Arlene. Thank you very much. Anyway, we'll have to wait and see. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So, like, loads of stuff, really. It would have been nice to see more logos. I get that. I understand that. I appreciate that. Andy's saying here, will we have a Stadia Connect? No, I don't think we will. Because, and I'll tell you why. Let's go to my Twitter page so I'm not blinded. I'll tell you why. Because I think Stadia are much more happier now just drip feeding the stuff, the games, as and when they can. They're in that kind of flow rather than stockpiling them, because to be effective, they'd have to stockpile all the announcements. And I think they'd rather roll out drip feed the announcements than stockpile the announcements. Say, don't tell us any news for about 3 weeks, just so they can have a whole pile of stuff. Yeah, because they're very much dependent now on developers and publishers announcing games. So they can't plan it to that degree necessarily, I think. So I don't think there's enough content without stopping the continual feed that we're used to now, like magpies. Give me a worm. Give me a worm. Give me another worm. Like, if they stop feeding us our magpies, yeah, the little wormies, we'll all get upset. And they'd have to do that to have enough stuff to make a Connect impactful. So, unless, and I think in terms of technical stuff and like that, I think they'd do an interview with an opinion leader magazine like they've done before and things like that. So that's why I don't think we'll have a Connect. That's my theory anyway. But I get it. There are places I'd like to have seen the Stadia logo, like I said, like Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. And sure, prior to E3, it would have been absolutely incredible to have seen Battlefield coming to Stadia. But seriously, people, I was defo not expecting to see a Stadia logo on the announcement of Battlefield. I mean, like, really? Were you expecting that? Really? I was not expecting it, right? So I wasn't disappointed. Or feel, that's it, it's all over, because I wasn't expecting to see it. Man, I've been doing this Stadia thing, for 18 months. And you see sections of the Stadia community lurch from, it's amazing. No, it's all good, it's amazing. Oh. There's no in between. There's no like steady flow. People are either like super hyped. Oh my God, it's amazing. Oh my God, it's all over. It's all over. Yeah. I've said it before. You know, we get twice weekly updates from Stadia on new games, etc. Or have we just become blasé about that and just take it all for granted now? Like a greedy child getting his Christmas presents every day. Right, next present. Next present. Just give me the presents, rather than stopping and appreciating the presents that you have got. Look, I've said on this show, ladies and gentlemen, I've said on this show before, Stadia and Xbox, right, or PlayStation, Xbox or PlayStation, are not in the same weight category. Yeah, they're not in the same weight category. Unboxing thing again, Xbox is 20 years old. It is a brand and customer base built over 20 years. They've had their ups and their downs, but their recent investments, their massive recent investments, are based on the knowns, on the size of their current user base. The billions invested over those last 20 years, that's $7.8 billion to buy Bethesda, which basically got them the E3 that blew everyone away. Yeah, they spent that E3 presentation effectively cost them $7.8 billion if you break it down. And good for them. Yeah, but they're making that $7.8 billion based on an existing customer base, and 20-year brand building. So to expect Stadia, and this is the key thing here, ladies and gentlemen, to expect Stadia, not Google, because it's not Google Games. It's not called Google Games. It's Stadia, and there's a reason for that. To expect Stadia to somehow compete at that level right now, in terms of spend, etc., is beyond naive. It has to compete within its means. It has to compete, yes, but it has to compete within its means. It's barely 18 months old. It's not 20 years old. It's a brand new tech asking people to change the way they've gamed for 30 plus years. It's only in 21 countries, etc., etc., etc. It is at the beginning of a long journey to cloud gaming being mass market. And yet, it's much further ahead in some places, in some degrees, in some aspects, than, say, Xbox, in terms of that destination of cloud gaming being mainstream. For example, in an interview with Phil Spencer earlier this week, he clarified some of the statements they made, like I mentioned before at the beginning of the show, about, oh yeah, we'll be bringing an Xbox smart app to your TVs. Okay. He clarified that a bit more, and he said, to paraphrase slightly here, yeah, that is something we'd probably like to do. Yeah, probably. We'd probably like to do. Of course they're going to do it, but the language he used was all very vague, i.e. not in the next 2 weeks like Stadia's doing, but somewhere down the line. So look, it will come. I'm not doubting that at all. But they're tech-wise, they're not there yet. They don't necessarily want to do that yet. They've got boxes they've got to sell. Got loads of boxes out back. How are we going to sell them? You don't want to be in a situation where you could say to people, do you want to spend 500 quid on a slightly enhanced experience of gaming or nothing and just use this app on your smart TV? They don't want to be in that situation quite yet. The great thing that Xbox is doing is that they're sort of in that they're transitioning gamers and the casual gamers. They want people to buy Xboxes and stuff, but they're going after that. And again, Phil Spencer said this, the 3 billion gamers that don't have consoles, yeah? Which is what Luna's trying to do, which is what Stadia's trying to do and all that. So look at things in context, ladies and gentlemen. Stop comparing Stadia to the heavyweights just because it's backed by Google. It's still a business entity that has to make wise investment decisions. Now, we can debate whether the decisions they've made are correct or incorrect, where they should be investing it. But you can't expect them to sort of spend $7 billion, just drop a case of $7 billion in one go like Xbox. That does not make business sense. And I say, Xbox did that. And because that, they had an absolutely blowaway, in many people's opinion, a blowaway E3, an amazing E3. And cloud gaming in general will benefit from that investment that Xbox has made, because they've made it so they can guarantee titles are available on PC cloud and Xbox from day one. And that investment, as I say, was based on where they are now as a 20-year-old established gaming brand and where they want to be. So reset your framework and your expectations, please, because I'm getting annoyed at Twitter and Reddit. Reset your expectations accordingly. Take a breath. And just look what we've had out of E3. Yeah, there were some things that we could have had, yeah. Of course there are. And there are things that would have been nice to have seen. And we hope that Stadia are making these wise investments with the budgets that they do have. But remember, as I say, just prior to the announcement, Stadia's rolling out its smart TV to Android, the smart TV app to Android TVs in less than 2 weeks. The massive promotion with a 5G and broadband carrier, AT&T. And then at E3, confirmation of 3 brand new AAA games coming to Stadia, plus few other games as well. Loads of DLC. One game which is for 2022. Rainbow Six Siege, one of the most popular games there is. Rainbow Six Extraction. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Yeah. Dates confirmed for Riders Republic and Just Dance and Life is Strange 2 Colors from Square Enix. With confirmation that Life is Strange 1 and 2 are going to be pro games in September. So there's quite a lot of stuff there. A ton of DLC. For Valhalla, Marvel's Avengers. Yeah, Black Panther coming. The Far Cry DLC. Get packed extra content coming. Possible confirmation, as I said, of Heartlands, the Division 2 spin-off coming to Stadia. That dinosaur game possibly getting announced later on. The announcement of Reverse, which we knew was coming from Capcom, support from Capcom ongoing. plus a bunch of games as yet unknown, yet still to be announced, if Stadia is to hit that 100 plus games for 2021. Yeah? So yeah, I get it, ladies and gentlemen. I do get it. Most of that, but not all of that stuff I've said is Ubisoft. But just forget that for a moment. Think of the content and variety that Ubisoft are bringing. That's the benefit of partnering with a massive publisher like Ubisoft. That's why Xbox bought Bethesda, because of the variety of games and the studios that they work with. Constant variety of different games. So don't be a bunch of Veruca salts. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reference there. Be grateful for all the goodies you do have, because there's a lot. Yeah? And yet still more to come. So, reset your expectations. Be realistic. Just be a slightly more realistic. Not what I want. Like some kind of, I've seen some people say, wouldn't it be good if they linked up with Nintendo? Yeah. Wouldn't it be good? I'll tell you what else would be good. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what else would be good. If you want to go down that road. Wouldn't it be good if I, wouldn't it be good if I got married to Lucy Liu? Yeah? Wouldn't it be good if I won the lottery? Yeah? Lucy Liu becomes my wife and I win the lottery. That would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah? At least one of those things is not very likely. Yeah? So I'm not disappointed. Yeah? I'm grounded. Yeah? My expectation levels are set. I'm just saying. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen. Even Verizon was today at E3 talking about the 5G gaming revolution, how it's on, investing in faster in ultra wideband, as I said, 4 gigabits, latency of 4 milliseconds, all that, all built for gamers. So it's not just the gaming companies, it's also the broadband companies and the mobile data companies also supporting Stadia and all of that. Anyway, before it was Stadia had no games, and now they bring more games. It's still not good enough. Of course, it's that magpie. Give me more worms. Feed the chicks. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, who wants to do? I'm just going to leave that there. Who wants to do Idiot of the Week? Let me know if you'd like to see Idiot of the Week. Should we do Idiot of the Week? I think we should do Idiot of the Week. Hey, look, who cares? Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Idiot of the Week. We're going to do Idiot of the Week. I need my headphones for this. Here we go. Idiot of the Week. Let's play it. Let's get that on. No.
I'm bad in
Wait for the advert. Idiot of the Week. Here we go. Those that are familiar to my show will know that I used to do Idiot of the Week. It's a bit harsh, but here we go.
So, kicking off this morning, we've got Xbox and Bethesda. Then we've got Square Enix Presents, a little Back for Blood, and then PC Gaming Show and Future Games Show. So here, joining me to break down everything that's happening today is Jordan Ramey.
Yo.
And Timur Hussein.
Let's talk about games, baby.
Right. Now, he could qualify as Idiot of the Week for that statement alone, but we'll move on.
It is a huge day of E3 today, like I've already said, but it's kind of strange because Xbox has already started the news cycle in earnest. Like, they got a bunch of announcements out of the way last week. They released this big video of Phil Spencer kind of talking about Xbox's plans for the future. A lot of really cool tidbits in there. So let's talk about those briefly first. First of all, the fact that Xbox is exploring putting the Xbox experience straight into TVs. I don't want to invoke Stadia here because it feels like Xbox has way more of a plan to do with all their cloud gaming stuff than Google did for Stadia, which
Right. It's not Lucy. Lucy is not Idiot of the Week. But it's interesting that she said it looks like Xbox have more of a plan than Stadia did in reference to releasing a smart app, a gaming smart app for TVs. I've just talked in this show. The Stadia have actually announced they're doing a smart app, and it's being released in less than 2 weeks' time. I've also just demonstrated that Phil Spencer's slightly backtracked and talked about it's something they're considering in the future. So who's the one that's planning, got cloud gaming planned out on that basis? I think it's Stadia. But Lucy, good try, but you are not the Idiot of the Week yet.
is unfortunate because Stadia worked, and when it worked, it was great, but like the pricing model was kind of a mess. Like the games rollout was not good. You've got Xbox who already.
So she did say when she tried it, the tech was really good. She just has an issue with the pricing model. There weren't very many games way back. So they're talking about when they tried it ages ago. But the key thing there is she said the tech is really good. Okay, so she said it was really good. That's the key thing.
Has this stable of incredible games, stable of first-party developers, famous franchises. Tam, do you think this is going to be something they'll discuss more in this press conference? Or is it something that they're just kind of mentioning now and they'll talk about later?
I think they will discuss xCloud and their kind of plans to propagate their presence within more areas of entertainment and devices. Okay. And honestly, I am excited to hear about that. And I know you drew a comparison to Stadia, and there's one of the most favorable comparisons for Xbox is it actually works. Like, I've used xCloud in a bunch of situations, both ranging from bad internet to good internet to, just using touchscreen to using a controller connected. And almost in every situation, I had a playable experiences. Some of it was incredibly good to the point where it felt like there was no lag and everything was super high quality. Stadia, on the other hand, very much the opposite case. Like, I've had little to no success playing that game, and I've always been very much aware of the fact that I'm being streamed a game.
Right. Of all the commentators I've ever heard, even the Stadia haters who've compared xCloud with Stadia, even haters have said the Stadia tech, even her colleague, Lucy, right? His colleague next to him, Lucy, said the Stadia tech is amazing. I've never heard anyone say, in relation to xCloud, that Stadia doesn't work and xCloud does, and it's like a console-like experience. I've heard that said loads about Stadia from even Stadia haters, but never about, like, everything he said about xCloud is everything that the majority of people who've tried it, even if they hate Stadia, that have tried it, say about Stadia. It feels like a console experience. It works seamlessly. It's really good. Certainly not what I've heard necessarily about xCloud. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Idiots of the Week.
Tamoor Hussain, you, sir, are an idiot. Because even if you found the experience on Stadia not that good, your colleague has just said it's really good. And wouldn't you have gone, oh, I had really bad experience? And you would have found in very short shrift that most of your colleagues, even if they hated Stadia, would say it is a brilliant experience. The tech-wise is wonderful. So, Tamoor, slap lady. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Idiot of the week. We haven't done it in a while, but I was so like, what the? When I saw that, I just thought, I'm bringing back Idiot of the Week just for Timur Hussain. I even did. In fact, I'm just looking at his face right now. I'm looking at his face, and it's annoying me. Right. Anyway, I'm going to take it off because I don't want to look at his face anymore. Idiot. Right. The first person ever to compare Xbox Cloud tech against Stadia and consider that it's miles ahead. Anyway, but there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the show. We're finishing on Idiot of the Week. Let's just have a few. 3 big AAAs out of around 20 odd that was announced is bad, in my opinion. It would be good to see some more. Are you talking about Stadia? I assume you are. Of course it is. But anyway. Everyone knows Stadia's tech is night and day. Exactly. I just cannot fathom. I cannot fathom how he came to that conclusion. Look, everybody's experience is, you know, not everyone's going to have an amazing experience with Stadia, but I find it hard to believe that you had a bad experience with Stadia, but a good one with xCloud. Okay, because if you had a bad experience with Stadia, it's probably an issue with the internet, your data, your Wi-Fi, all of that. And if that's an issue for Stadia, it is more than likely going to be an issue for xCloud. Anyway, I want to go on about it. He's an idiot, right? Absolute idiot. And you can take that certificate to the bank, mate, as far as I'm concerned. Amnar says, oh, no. Oh, that's for Amnar. Sorry, I was about to... I don't understand how anybody can support Stadia at this point. There I am, Narc. Just for you, okay? You get a slap lady for that. Yeah. For your continual comments. Thank you for coming here always to the chat, Amnar. It's always a pleasure to see you in there. Works pretty well on a 4G. Exactly. I've tried it on 5G. I've tried it 4G. What's this? Liar, liar, pants on fire. Where's it gone? Yeah, monkey boy. Exactly. That's why he gets Idiot of the Week. That's why I dug out the certificate. I made a brand new certificate just for him. Anyway, look, I've wobbled on. I've warbled on, everybody. Apologies if I didn't get to everybody in the chat today. It was a bit chaotic today, but there was so much to sort of cram in and all of that. I wanted to cram it in. We'll call it a day there. I've missed the whole Capcom announcements, but never mind. We'll see. Let's have a quick look. Just update it. See if anybody's talking about anything. No, just really with the reverse thing. That's interesting. Quick update here, actually, before I go. Orcs Must Die is rolling out to the other platforms, but it won't have crossplay, which is a bit disappointing. Not that it needs massive crossplay, but it won't have crossplay. That's just a little small tidbit there. Right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time with me. I know it was a long show today. I know I've warbled on a bit. So there was a lot to get into there. I brought back Idiot of the Week. One more for Amnar. There we go. I brought back Idiot of the Week and all of that. Sean L says, didn't much. It was boring. Capcom was boring. Okay, thank you for that. Anyway, nothing new apart from Ace Attorney. Bill summed up, good old Bill. He's very good at the pithy statement there. Could have been an email, like a meeting that could have been an email. Very, very good. Oh my God, worse than Square Enix. Terrible. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. Have a wonderful evening, afternoon. Blog post tomorrow from Stadia. Look out for that. We might get updates and stuff like that. Josh Timmins. Yeah, you were a bit cheeky earlier, Josh. So, of course you can have a slap from Slap Lady. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Good evening, good afternoon, and goodbye. Where's my end thing? There it is. Goodbye.